all of our viewers on Synergy TV, all of our viewers on the Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, all of our listeners on U975 FM Multicultural Radio, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your paper, get your phone, so you could take notes, you could store numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, Hisham Costello. On behalf of our team, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a wonderful day today. It's the middle of the work week. It's Wednesday, the 5th of July, 2023. It is a day and time we will never have the opportunity to have again. Don't procrastinate. Don't waste your time. Do something constructive, something productive with your day and your time, all right? And if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours, that someone special. Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, "The beauty of life does not depend on how happy you are, but how happy others can be because of you." So today, you be the sunshine. You be the one that could bring joy and happiness and peace to someone's life. You make the difference, all right? That came to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. That's the big white tent opposite Medford gas station in Chaguanas. Great deals every day. Check them out. And remember their food court. Remember their play area for the children, especially now that children are on vacation. You could make it a day affair with the entire family and just have fun, all right? Let's say good morning and a very warm welcome to Dr. Pastor Clive Dotton.
Morning, my dear.
It's always so nice to have you and to see you.
It's a privilege, especially since I'm going on for 4 weeks.
I know, but you know, you're going to do what you love doing.
Yes, of course. I'm going to work with the youth and families for about 18 church groups.
Wow.
So, and it is in South Brooklyn, and we'll have a headquarters. We have a team of 20 workers.
Nice.
We'll be visiting homes.
Brilliant.
Yes, I'm telling you. So that is going to start on Saturday night. We're having a big march against crime and drugs in Brooklyn on Saturday evening.
Excellent.
Yes, and we want to relaunch, because we did it years ago, the drug program I launched in Trinidad, French River, deal with dysfunctional youth, drug addicts, and their relatives. And we are seeking to launch that within the next 4 weeks. So that is part of my agenda in going. So here we have a local pastor exporting a model for treating with drug addiction.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes, we praise God for that. We praise God for that. And I have been busy. My 8th graduation, you know.
You've been busy. I was telling you a while ago, and I should let the public, because of the demand and the response that I got from that graduation that you did, and we recorded that and we replayed it last Saturday. So many people, you know, contacted me and said they really wish we could get more of that, because it's really great. You've got this art and this gift of connecting, especially with children. And you know that our nation, let's not hide it.
Ovarian fortitude to be willing to fight to save our children, to
Agree.
put our lives at risk to
Agree.
save our children.
Totally
It is not
agree.
going to happen by a magic. You know, when I was growing up, Mandrake the magician, you wave something and miracle. It's not going to be like that. We have to have that willingness. You know, one father told me, from Arima, and you know, Arima is a solid hotspot now.
It is.
But I don't know where else it's not. But anyhow, that's another topic. But you know, he told me, say, Pastor, my son was on marijuana. He said, you know, I was saying, let me take him out in the environment and send him to his uncle. That's the father's brother. He said, when he went by the uncle, his son, the father is now discovering that his brother, the boy's uncle, is a drug dealer. Now, that tells you how the space is being occupied.
Yeah.
And he said, he told me, he said, Pastor, I fought with him. He said, Pastor, I want to tell you something. All right? I don't care what happens and what does not happen, but I want you to know that if my son dies by the Arima dial, I will cross over him like if I didn't know him.
Uh-oh.
So I told him, you're not sure about that. All right? But you have to understand what is taking place. He told me that.
When you're angry, you say things sometimes because of anger. And you
Yes,
don't think
that's
of
correct.
the consequences or the actions of what you say, what you profess, which is the power of your words, which is so important. And I think it's ideal because I know you're going to be out for some time and you're dealing with youth even though you're out there in international waters. But, you know, SCA results just came out early this week. We are on the, you know, going into the holiday season. A lot of parents, especially single parents who are working and are occupied and cannot afford to leave their jobs to take care of their children, and they perhaps don't have choices, they would send them to relatives, family members, friends, whatever. Now, you may think that that home that you're sending your child to is a safe place or a good environment.
Yes.
But are you not worried about who are the neighbors or who are the people that will visit that home that could harm and hurt your children? And if you think that they're only going to interfere with your daughters, let me tell you something, they're interfering with your sons as well.
Of
so
course.
it's your children. So you really need to do your homework and be mindful and make wise decisions as to whom you leave your children with. Now, those people might be kind and good and loving, but think of the influences that could come to corrupt your child.
Well, you're talking to the issue, Zelisa, of values. Part of the problem we make in our society, when we give children to neighbors to watch for us, when we employ the wrong guardian in the home, is that there is a difference in values.
Yeah.
For example, you don't drink alcohol, right? You ain't drinking alcohol at all, but the neighbor drinks alcohol and doesn't mind giving the child a sip.
Yeah.
Remember that word sip?
And say it, good for the worms.
Good for the worm. So that you have a difference in values there. Not only that, but your caregiver may be a smoker.
Yeah.
And the child will suffer from the effects of secondary smoking, which is very, very, very devastating.
Yes.
So that you have to make sure that the person in charge of your child, there's a commonality of values. Unless you could be guaranteed of that, then you could be making a very fatal blunder. All right?
Correct.
That it could have catastrophic, results.
Correct.
So that is important. But I want to touch on something, Zelisa. And I came armed to the teeth for this. I don't know if you saw the latest report from Harvard University. Harvard Medical School has a Center for Addiction Studies. Now, because I have this overwhelming desire for research and scientific research, because I taught science.
Yeah.
Judy Gilmore is an associate professor at Harvard Medical School. And this is why I want to tell parents, and I want to look you in the eye at this time. I want to tell parents, keep up with the research. Be a reader. To my mind, parents have to be readers.
Yeah.
So Judy Gilmore has been specializing at what people consider to be #1 university in the world, Harvard Medical, Ivy League, if you please. And Judy Gilmore is saying that the impact on the cognitive region of the brain, the thinking part of the brain, is absolutely brutal by the marijuana. Not only that, she has discovered something that is new. There's a part of the brain that deals with motivation.
Right.
If that part of the brain is functioning well, you are more easily motivated.
Nice.
Now, for a long time, I have been saying this for 30 years, at least 30 years, there is something called the amotivational syndrome, which they find with drug users and also inclusive of marijuana users, the amotivational syndrome. Like it's impossible to motivate. Jody Gilmore discovered last year, what is the reason for that? The part of the brain that deals with motivation and learning is called the nucleus accumbens. The nucleus accumbens. And marijuana sabotages. Hear the word I'm using. Marijuana sabotages that part of the brain. Now, this is research. This is not no Adventist scholar.
You're not talking from the top
No,
of the
not talking. I'm dealing with pure scientific research. Now, parents, I believe there are more than 50,000 marijuana smokers, much more than that in Trinidad right now, including a lot of youth. Some of the schools I've been to, even doing graduations, the principal whispered to me, we have students doing the, as I told the Point 14 East Secondary School, Point 14 East Secondary School, Zelisa, I told them, I say, listen, the problem we have is that for men, young men who smoke in marijuana, the younger you smoke, the harder it is to leave it. Huh?
Right.
They will start very young. So it captures the brain from very early. But what we have discovered is that the young men, the level of testosterone is reduced. And the sperm is damaged, the DNA of the sperm. In fact, Akira Murashima, who is a Japanese medical expert, has said that as far as he's concerned, and he has done 30 years of research on the impact of marijuana on the cell, the sperm cell, and he has said no other drug is as devastating on the DNA of the human cell as marijuana.
Wow.
And I wondered where our universities are, because this is stuff should be churning out to educate the society and raise the level of awareness.
And awareness.
Because if you don't do that, then you're failing in your function as a university. So I'm calling on universities, our three major universities, UTT, USC, and UE. All right, and since this program goes far and wide, CAVE, you know, University, UE University in CAVE in Barbados, Mona, Jamaica, all right, NCU, Northern Caribbean University, all our premier universities, to do a greater job, not in just defending medical use, all right, but in terms of educating particularly parents on the harmful effects on the brain particularly, all right, of young marijuana users.
And by extension, I would even say get into the secondary schools.
Of course.
Get into the secondary schools. And if the parents are not doing their job, what they ought to be doing, then at least the relevant authorities could take action and ensure that we get the word out there to educate. But then if you have the, you know...
Well, last week at the USC's graduation, Dr. Williams, who is a noted scientist, made the comments on alcohol use in our youth. He dealt with two major issues, alcohol and obesity. You see, in this graduation, I've seen a lot of overweight children.
Yeah.
And it deals with diet. It deals with
Poor
lifestyle.
choices, yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? And I am seeing some 16-year-olds who are overwhelmingly obese. And by the way, there's a new condition they're talking about called diabetes. A combination of diabetes and obesity.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. If you are overweight and you are diabetic, let me tell you something. You are headed for a kind of a miserable life.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you do serious lifestyle change.
Correct.
And you're talking about NCDs, non-communicable diseases. And I believe there are very few stations. In fact, I want to tell you, I want to do a series on your radio station on this issue of youth and non-communicable diseases.
Sure, and I welcome that. When you return, we'll work towards putting that together and get you on board.
Certainly.
This is the program Conversations with Zelisa. We're going to take some important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Doughton, today talking about our children, our future. When we return, I'll open up the telephone line. Also, you can send your WhatsApp messages to 3847142. That's 3847142, and join in on the conversation. Let's hear what you have to say when we return.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Where?
The Fab India Expo Shoguanas. They have announced their final extension.
Final extension?
I thought they were going to be here for a little while. I have a whole list to shop for.
You always wait for last minute.
You know how much I like bargains. Last time they were closing, I got nearly 80% off.
They've got their Dosa Festival happening as well. I need to tell my friends about it.
I will eat tandoori chicken, naan, butter chicken, biryani. Oh gosh, my mouth watering.
Also, I want to try their Bombay head massage.
I'll get a pedicure. You know the spa? They have 50% off on a Tuesday.
We have a few days left. They're closing on Monday, July 17th.
Monday the 17th of July.
Yes, Fab India Expo, opposite Medford Gas Station, Shoguanas. Closing on Monday, July 17th.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trin-City. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome to OATS, Optimal Alternative Treatment Solutions Limited, the future of healthcare, which provides full body scans, which we detect and treat cancer, tumors, all heart conditions, cysts, fibroids, dementia, Parkinson's, just to name a few. No radiation and medication is not needed. If you are tired of getting no results, call us at 354-4459 or 356-7226.
Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa, in conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Doughton. And today he's talking to us about our children, our future, and we do need to take the responsibility as adults, as parents, as guardians, as aunties, as uncles, as friends, to take the responsibility to understand that it is our duty and responsibility to ensure that, we inculcate the right morals and values into the lives of our children. We also need to live that life, because the apple will not fall far from the tree. And this is where I'm going to open up the telephone line, 384-7142, 384-7142. You could call in, join in on the conversation, or if you want to ask a question, or you could send us a WhatsApp to 384-7142. And I will be happy to read the question to Dr. Pastor Clive Doughton. 384-7142. A gentle reminder, when you are calling in, kindly take the volume down on your radio and your television. Speak into the phone and listen into the phone as well. Welcome back, Pastor Doughton.
Yes. There is a dangerous combination affecting our youth, but it's affecting a lot of parents too. A lot of our parents are smoking and drinking. Now, tobacco is a deadly drug, What Jody Gilmore has done from Harvard Medical School and other experts like Adam Solskowski, who's a West German doctor, has done magnificent work on drugs, on the brains of young people.
Yeah.
What we have discovered is that the trajectory that tobacco moved from in the 1950s, the 1940s, when it was said it was a harmless drug and nicotine was not addictive. Watch me, 1940s, 1950s. Nicotine, not addictive. That is what they said. All right? And it meant until they eventually admitted, well, there seems to be a link between carcinogens like benzopyrene, for example, and, and cancer. And then they started to print little things. And now even on the cigarettes, now you have to print. It's dangerous.
You're correct. You have in some commercials may cause death.
Yes. Now hold a minute. The same trajectory that they used to defend, because remember, tobacco is a billion-dollar industry.
It is.
The same. And what has happened? The smoking levels have gone down in the States. You still have millions of people smoking, but it's gone down. But they have increased the exports to the developing world. So they dump the chemical, narco, radioactive waste on us. Now hold a minute there. The point I want to make is the trajectory that it took, all right, before they admitted it was harmless and nicotine was addictive. It took decades. And it's the same trajectory with the defenders of marijuana right now.
Now, what I cannot understand is that people call or send messages and everybody complaining, well, everything high, prices real high, groceries expensive, living conditions high, but yet the bars are flooded and overflowing with people.
Of course,
and I'm not
the parties are sold out.
So you're correct. And people, yet they're complaining, but yet everybody living large with regards to, you're correct, partying, liming, drinking, smoking. And it's not just men. I'm seeing a lot of women and more women in some, and the behavior.
Ooh. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to expect for next year carnival. Even the fashions I see the advertising, I don't know what to expect, but it's not going to be anything good. It's going to be overexposure. What I say the latest style is, all right, overexposed and underdressed. This is where the society, and by the way, that is what the society is applauding.
Yeah.
There are women who leave, and by the way, let me tell parents something. Take care of your children. Don't dump them when you want to go to parties on the grandparents. You know, grandparents cannot, they don't have the energy to take care of these over energetic kids we have today. And this is very important what I am saying. And grandmothers, you insist on your rights. You must enjoy your retirement, all right? And not have the children dumped on you. That is wrong. It is unethical. It is immoral. And I want to emphasize that.
Yeah.
And don't spoil your grandchild, okay? Don't give him everything you want, because sometimes what that grandchild wants is not what is good for him.
That's
all right?
correct.
I mean, the excessive sugars, you know, all of that there. And now a lot of these kids are smoking and drinking, you know what I mean? And then they're taking some of the pills that are wrong. There's a dangerous form of ganja that is around.
Another thing that a lot of people don't, and they just take it for granted, is a little dress code. If you know you're having a family function, then dress appropriately. And don't be afraid to say, as grandparents, even the elders that know better to the younger ones, you think that's appropriate the way you're dressing with a family function? What is that? It's not acceptable. You see, when you allow things because you're afraid to ruffle feathers, or you're afraid, you are also spoiling and encouraging what is happening. But if you stand up and speak out and speak against and say, you know, I think you could dress a little more tasteful, and people will look at you differently. People will respect you differently, you know?
Sure. You are on target. And I want to say to parents also, you have to be firm with your child. I think some parents are so concerned about being the friend of their child. They're not concerned about being a parent. All right? Because if friendship with your child is hurting your child, that's a wrong friendship. It's like where you tell them, be careful who you're relating to outside there in your school, which group you're part of. Well, you don't want the same thing to be applied to you. All right? This is something serious I'm saying here. If friendship with you and your child is resulting in your spoiling the child, that's a bad friendship. That is enemyship.
Correct.
That is something we are. And by the way, parents, do not stop this nonsensical talk, but don't do as I do. Do as I say. So you're saying one thing, they're living the opposite lifestyle.
Yeah.
You tell the child, don't drink, don't smoke, but you're smoking and drinking.
You ain't coming home for days.
Well, don't talk about that.
You're not coming home for days. What is that?
And then some of our male folks want to have a girlfriend in every zone.
Yeah.
You know, that is, and sometimes when they say they're working in the night, yes, they're doing work, but it's more biological work.
What example, honestly, what example are you setting for your children? Or what do you expect your sons and daughters to do if you are living that sort of lifestyle? And it's not limited to men alone. There are a lot of women who are very unfaithful in their marriage as well.
Yeah, that's
no respect for yourself.
Well, I'm glad you as a woman mentioned that. Because
there are women who...
Some experts who want to mention that at all.
No, it's just the men that are being bad or being unfaithful or doing things outside of their marriage. Well, women, if you're not happy in your marriage, get out of it and then do what you need to do. We don't have a problem what you do with your personal life, but respect your marriage, respect your children, respect your husband.
So, Lisa, I think one of the things we have to challenge our professors to do in our universities is have a study on our young girls and gangs.
Yes.
What are the profiles? Because why I'm saying that, I could tell you about young girls who are with gang leaders and the kind of rotten lives they lead. Because
you see it day to day. You deal with it.
I deal with it.
Something that you deal with.
I deal with it, sister. And I could tell you, it is horrific. One of the things I am doing my own private research on is just why some girls love these bad men. When I say love, have these deep romantic relationships with bad men. And they know they could be killed at any time. Right? They know that. In other words, the girls have had that experience where guys in their life before have been shot and killed, and they were there, and by the grace of God, they have escaped. They know that. They know of the dangers, and they still pursue this reckless experimentation with horrific, terrible guys. And we have to call that out in the society for what it is. Because we can't keep quiet in the face, of such, irresponsibility.
Agree.
That is
Everybody will identify, well, the root to the problem, and the problem is in the home. We understand that.
Yes.
It starts from the home. In terms of lack of proper parenting and guidance and the environment and the influences and all these things that we point fingers at. And that's where the responsibility and duty correctly comes in terms of being able to talk to your children, have conversations, open conversations, early o'clock, teach them about morals and values, about the pros and the cons, about consequences to their choices. Have deep conversations with your children. Listen to them, not just hear them.
But I am watching a trend in Trinidad and Tobago, dealing with Trinidad and Tobago specifically. I was in a place in Tobago where a 32-year-old mother, single parent, came up to me. She said, "Pastor, I want to join your team." I said, "Which team?" She said, "Your team that deals with drug addiction."
Okay.
I said, "Why you want to deal with?" She said, "I was living with a guy for 5 years, and he wanted to kill me. I didn't even know." She said, "For 5 years." And there are genuine people like her who are trapped. They're trapped economically, they're trapped morally, and they are also trapped emotionally.
Correct.
So it's a conundrum of traps. Now, she said, "Pastor, I'm giving my life to God, I'm getting out of this." She says, "How I found out was amazing, was a miracle. How she knew the guy that she slept with for 5 years wanted to kill her. And she has born children for that same guy." Now, that tells you folks, you have to be alert. Young people, you have to read. You have to know what's happening in your environment. Do background checks on the guy, you have an affection for. You cannot just go blindfolded into a relationship.
Correct. Do your homework.
And by the way, a lot of children have been brought into this world. They weren't planned for, Two people just wanted to have an excitement and hoping no pregnancy. And bam, a child comes. The child was not planned for.
No.
And those of us who have to deal with these issues, I'm telling you, is among the Everest of a problem. And when children discover they weren't planned for, and they are treated as an accidental product, that has a deleterious effect on the brain.
Of course, it's a psychological effect on that child.
Of course,
an
it is a
inferior
psychological
feeling of
effect
not
on the
being
child.
loved and wanted and cared for and appreciated, among many other things. And that's why we have such a fallen society. And then there are all these negative influences on the outside as well.
Don't talk about social media.
Social media. And I'm seeing the trend where elderly, I know we're talking about children, but I want to touch on the point that I see a lot of older people now are addicted. And I'm going to use the word addicted, and they're bold-faced about it and saying, "Well, this is my companion, this is my friend, because I'm lonely, because I have nothing else to do." Well, let me wake you up and tell you there are so many other things you can do than become addictive to this phone, because it could ruin you. It influences on the way you think, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak. If you're doing it for the right reasons to gather information or research or things like that, it's
definitely
fine. And because you do have the good side, but the bad side, which seems to be toxic and taking over people and influencing them in negative ways.
And you have so much media now. You have TikTok. You have LinkedIn. You have all of these things, so that there are so many opportunities. But sometimes a lot of people use them for evil.
Well, when you think this could be the babysitter and you say, go on your phone while a cocoa wash, you don't even know if your child looking at porn. You don't even know if somebody is influencing your child to meet them, to rape them and kill them. You do not know. So be careful. be aware of what's happening.
The next segment, I want to deal with sleep deprivation.
Great, because that's affecting a lot of people. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Doughton. Stay with us.
Visit Agri Savers Limited, number 19 Orange Grove Trace, St. Augustine, for all your agriculture, livestock, pet, agri-equipment, hydroponics, cannabis, fishing tackle supplies, and much more. Open Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Contact 473-6074, 663-1094. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Tile Expression Limited, the #1 leader in tiles. Large stock, unbeatable prices, wide variety of porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, wall and floor tiles, residential and commercial, granite and quartz countertops. Best quality from Spain, Italy, Brazil, India and China. Tile Expression Limited, conveniently located Monroe Road, Kunapir. Telephone 693-0015 or 223-TILE.
Passage to Asia, the award-winning restaurant and banquet suite located in the heart of Chaguanas, the best fusion food restaurant in Trinidad and Tobago. From the second you enter to the moment you leave, you will be treated like royalty. Come, dine in luxury and enjoy the finest combination of Asian cuisine prepared by skilled and qualified chefs at Passage to Asia. The experience is truly unforgettable, perfect for families, couples, and large groups. Passage to Asia, located at St. Ives Street, Chaguanas. Contact 672-2701. Also, visit us on Facebook and Instagram.
You know me. This is Bo Tiwari, and I want to invite you to a wonderful 1-hour show, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday. Freedom Monday is what it is, and I invite you to join me with my guests, people who know what they are talking about on issues that matter to you and to others, and on important issues of the day in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, and the world. Please join me for Freedom Monday. Bo Tiwari, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday starting Monday 10th July. So join me on U97.5 FM Multicultural Radio and Conversations with Zelisa on Synergy TV.
Therapeutic treatments and tutoring by Nandi, certified occupational massage therapist and reflexologist, specialized in all types of therapeutic treatments like massages, reflexology, medicopping, detoxification, sinus drainage, body analysis scans, supplements and much more. Call or WhatsApp today at 320-7256 or 323-2060.
Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa. I am in conversation this morning with Dr. Pastor Clive Doughton, and today we're talking about our children, our future. Welcome back. You know, you touched on something that you want to elaborate on just before the break, and that of course is the lack of sleep.
Sleep deprivation. I want to tell you, a grandfather called me, and it's always the grandparents calling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And that's the latest person going to say, Pastor, the parents, my child, talking about his child, who is, of course, the grandfather's grandchild, said, this phone, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And he says, we checked it, it's not academic stuff. So that, I want to tell you, you see, that this phone could be used for good, as you said, could be used for evil too. But what is happening? That is how a lot of young people getting in touch with human traffickers, you know.
Yes.
The guys have these sites looking out for girls, especially, and boys too. Because some human traffickers are gay. That's something some people don't understand at all. They're not all of one sexual orientation.
Yeah.
So what is happening? And it's affecting the grades of a lot of young people.
Yeah.
And then in the day, they cannot sleep in the night because they have conditioned themselves. But in the day, when they should be in the classroom absorbing what is being taught, they're asleep.
You have drop C, sleeping, you can't concentrate.
They're drowsy.
Yeah.
They're drowsy there.
Yeah.
So that we have to warn parents, do you know when that child's bedroom is locked or closed in the night, what is happening there? Because you are most likely waiting on a teacher to complain to you that your child is falling asleep, that the child is having problems focusing and concentrating, while that child is living on the phone all 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, when they're going to bed, just take the phone. Nothing is wrong with that. Put it to charge outside of the bedroom.
Well, I think that is an excellent, example. Whether the child kicks up a storm or not, whether he threatens you or not. And by the way, parents, let me tell you something. Your child should not be threatening you, including physical threats. That should never take place. When you allow that, your child to threaten you, you become the child. And the child is now the parent. All right? I don't care how big the child is. I was speaking to the principal of Point Porton East Secondary yesterday, Mr. Bisnat. And he told me something I was very happy about. Now, he's medium-sized built, all right? He says, Pastor, I want to tell you something. If there's a fight, he says, tremendous reduction in fights in the school. He said, if there was a fight between two boys who are bigger than me, that does not faze me at all. Mm-hmm. He says, I go and I separate them.
Yeah.
He said, I don't care how big they are, how strong they are, I go and I separate them. He said, Pastor, in this school, there's zero tolerance for violence.
Very good.
He said, I set the example. I don't send the dean.
Yeah.
And I compliment Mr. Bisnat.
And if that's the attitude of the principal, you know,
of course,
exactly,
yeah. He's taking charge.
Yeah.
And parents, and principals, and teachers, and politicians take charge.
Yeah.
That is the reason why we have this level of violence and criminality in the society. We must take charge.
Yeah.
God expects us to take charge.
Well, if the father don't take charge of his home, what do you expect? Not chaos? Or the
course,
mother, not chaos?
Of course. And you know another point, that in terms of our children, our future, you know what the philosopher says? Every child that has a dream is guaranteed a future. I want to repeat that.
I love it.
Every child that has a dream is guaranteed a future. So that I have met a lot of loveless, godless, and dreamless children. Even in the graduation I did this year, I would pick out a child at random and say, what you plan to be? I ain't know yet. You ain't perform, you know. You're graduating in 6 months, but you ain't know. You have to know.
You should
and
know.
Parents and concerned adults, we have to motivate the children, okay, to plan out their lives, to discover their talents, go to a career symposium, you know, go to a counselor, all right? We have more of them now. And let the child do an assessment on what his gifts and abilities and talents happen to be.
Brilliant advice.
So therefore, he could look at the careers out there and see how his talents match up to which career or careers.
Because, Pastor, at the end of the day, let's face it, not all children are good in terms of academics.
Right.
But as parents or guardians, you should have the ability to know your child or children so well. You know what their strengths are, what their talents are, and you help them to allow that to blossom and use it to the best of their ability. Because I know that there are people who took trade for a living and they are doing exceptionally
Correct.
well. Nothing is wrong, because we need those tradesmen. Sometimes lack of the, we have in terms of quality and lack of them, we don't have. So it may not be a bad career path if they're good at what they're doing, because they can make money out of it and make
Of course.
good, law-abiding citizens. And then this thing you have about comparing children as well, where because the neighbor child did this, or because your brother did this, or because your cousin did this, allow your child to blossom and be the best that they can, and respect them for that.
I want to make a comment. Recently, I heard this expert, Dr. Williams, talk to the issue of, and he's working for Harvard too. He said a lot of young criminals emerge from functional illiteracy, starting with primary school.
Yeah.
They leave primary school not being able to handle the language, you know, and that deficit hurts them in secondary school. And a lot of them turn over to a life of crime. Now, parents, this has to be significant. How is your child's writing? How is the child getting on with the homework? How is the child's discipline in school? How can you know that unless you visit the child in school?
Correct.
And visit the teacher and have a talk with the administration of the school?
Correct.
You know,
correct.
this is simply amazing, and the research is kicking us in our faces. All right? The research shows if the child is functionally literate, that child could be bound for prison. That child is bound for a gang.
Correct.
That is very serious indeed.
And by you lacking in your responsibilities, you encouraging your child to do bad. You encouraging another criminal out there.
Of course. That you
help
tell it better.
You help create that child and push them into a bad path rather than a good one.
We are into very serious times, and we have to acknowledge that we are into serious times, and all of us must get involved in saving our children. Your child is my child child is your child, your grandchild is my grandchild is your grandchild. That spirit of brotherliness and sisterliness must return to our society.
You know what I'm noticing too? Apart from the lawlessness, the lack of God in the lives of our children.
Well, you're turning me on there.
The lack of understanding the importance and greatness of God in a child's life. Where is it?
It is not there. And I tell folks, whether you be Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Baha'i, Orisha, whatever you are, start the child's day with God.
Yeah.
Pull the children together just to say a simple prayer for them, you know, to bless them. All right, asking God for divine protection. Yes.
Oh gosh, you've now really started to preach. Because when was the last time you really blessed your child? When was the last time you held your child and prayed with your child? Or teach your child the importance of God, or the importance to pray and thank God for today and for the blessings.
Yeah,
and for intervention.
Yes, we're onto something heavy here. This is absolutely important. All right? Bless your children. Ask God to surround them. Ask Him to send the angels to be with your child in school, out of school, on the street, inside your home. When you're not around, the divine intervention is guaranteed.
Yeah.
All of that is important.
Positive things that you say rather than the negative things that you say to your children. Now, I'm not saying don't discipline your kids, because I'm a strong, I came from that environment, and so I believe the importance of making sure that you instill right morals and values and discipline, correction.
Sure.
If you don't, then you're spoiling your child, and that's a disaster, recipe for disaster. You know, so these are things that we don't just take for granted or we take lightly, but rather put some energy and importance into it, prioritize.
Of course.
You know, let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation with Dr. Pastor Clive Doughton. Stay with us.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Where?
The Fab India Expo Shoguanas, they have announced their final extension.
Final extension?
I thought they were going to be here for a little while. I have a whole list to shop for.
You always wait for last minute.
You know how much I like bargains. Last time they were closing, I got nearly 80% off.
They've got their Dosa festival happening as well. I need to tell my friends about it.
I will eat tandoori chicken, naan, butter chicken, biryani. Oh gosh, my mouth watering.
Also, I want to try their Bombay head massage.
I'll get a pedicure. You know the spa? They have 50% off on a Tuesday.
We have a few days left. They're closing on Monday, July 17th.
Monday the 17th of July.
Yes, Fab India Expo, opposite Medford Gas Station, Shoguanas. Closing on Monday, July 17th.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Shoguanas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Before you choose a life of crime, know that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are fed up of you. More than 22,000 have already provided anonymous tips to Crime Stoppers, leading to countless arrests and convictions. You will never know who they are, but with Crime Stoppers' anonymous tipster system, everyone will soon know you. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 800 TIPS today.
Welcome back to the program, Conversations with Zelisa. Serious conversation today, very important, and I trust and hope that we will, be able to make a difference, a dent, that you will realize the importance of what we're talking about, because it really is our duty and responsibility as adults to make sure that listen, the fact is we're not perfect, Pastor?
Of course.
We are not perfect. We are humans and we do make mistakes. But we must always be mindful to correct them and better them.
We don't even want anybody to think that we possess papal infallibility, whatever that is. But we are saying that we all have to make an effort.
Yeah.
We want the society to improve. Let me say this to you. I spoke to a top public officer during the graduation. He sat next to me. In fact, I tell you who it is, the transport commissioner. He sat next to me in the VIP section, if you please. So forgive me for saying that. It was true.
No,
but and I told him, I says, if we don't come together, whatever party, race, religion, to save the society, what we are going to have to resort to in the end is a dictatorship. I mean, and I hate to say it. I hate to even think it. But the story of Haiti lies at our door.
It is.
It is. Look at, I was hearing when Ari came yesterday, the new president, remember the other one was assassinated? I heard he had bodyguards like that.
Yeah.
Attending CARICOM. So that you don't want a society to be so, have so much malice and hatred and revenge. Our society is overloaded. It's toxic,
It is.
We have introduced in the society a kind of toxic culture. So we don't appreciate each other. We don't value each other. We're paranoid. We think they're about to do us something because the level of fear is so dominant in the society. And we have got to relate to that. A society cannot move forward with that level of fear. And by the way, I have always said, when I do seminars on gender-based violence, that courage and fear cannot coexist in the same space. Courage and fear cannot coexist in the same space. Therefore, we have to choose one.
It's either one. You're very correct.
You've got to choose one.
You're very correct.
And I told the young people in the graduations, the 8 graduations I did, including the transition service at Trinity East. And by the way, Trinity East administration, congratulations to you. You have those children dressed up in their suits, man.
Nice.
I'm telling you, all right, and they're very well disciplined. When I tell you, very, very, very well disciplined. I was there, I think it was last week, Monday, and I was really enamored by the kind of responses I got there also. Of course, they can't talk while I'm talking. Huh? I want to tell you that. I don't make joke of that. I am a strong disciplinarian. And once I am talking, you cannot be talking. I went to a school, and I think the whole staff and teachers were shocked. I saw them, they do a wrong thing. They plan the program, so you have the feature speakers and, you know, as an intermission. So children could get up and dress for the cultural item. Man, I stopped one time. I said, I will not do this graduation speech until those children return.
Because you don't want them to miss out there. It's for them. And you need to have the message. You're correct.
Or you can have 10 children getting up during the graduation feature address. You have to be crazy. And I told them I came quite from Digo Mountain, so they have to respect me. So I stopped the graduation speech one time. They got the message, they hustled the children back, and that was it. I said, no hard feelings. Right is right, and wrong is wrong.
Discipline. Discipline.
And we have to discuss, when I come back, the issue of how we're going to reinstill, reset this society to make discipline the top strategic action and plan for our society. We're not a lawless and indisciplined nation cannot save children and cannot destroy crime. That is something we have to understand.
Well, what is happening, and I'm not going to mince words and say it, is we have people like yourself and good law-abiding citizens that are now stepping up in the plate and doing what the authorities are supposed to do, you know.
Yes, that is.
It's the citizens of this land that are now standing and stepping up and realize if we don't take control, no one else will, or no one else is doing it. So we've got to step up and do what we have to do.
I think it was unfortunate, the Prime Minister's utterings on one group want to arm their supporters to shoot other people of another race.
Yes.
I think on sober reflection, Mr. Prime Minister, you will reconsider those remarks. In fact, I think you should even apologize for saying that. I know people from both parties, the major parties, and none of them want that. You'll have a few miscreants and wild cards. You always have that in every party in the world.
Correct.
You know, but the vast majority, we do not want that. I know you have the issue with Gary and whatever have you, but don't let that color, you know, your presentation. Let me tell you something. I told parents yesterday, words are very important, you know.
Very important.
Words are very important.
Extremely important.
I heard of a story coming from a former teacher in Laventille, in the hottest spot in Laventille. This mother told his child, you will never go to secondary school. You will never go to secondary school. Child never went to secondary school and became one of the most powerful drug lords in Laventille. Started with the bad messaging and signals sent by his mother. She didn't want him to go to secondary school at all. I think she didn't go to secondary school and she didn't want another children to go to secondary school.
Positive affirmation, so important.
Yes.
You are special, you are gifted, you are kind, you are loving, you are respectful. These are important words for you to encourage your children with, remind them of who they are. You're a child of God.
George Washington Carver was born in poverty. He was a big-time slave. A lot of people, Ben Carson, became a top neurosurgeon, pediatric neurosurgeon. Poverty, father walked out on them. Warwick Dunn, father walked out, mother was shot and killed. Poverty. A lot of great things have come out of the ghetto. And I want to close up with this today in telling parents and politicians and business leaders and priests and imams, pundits, everybody. A lot of great things have come out. You know, I said it to every graduation. It's not your locality, it's your mentality. If you weren't born with a golden spoon, get a wooden one and paint it gold. All right?
I love it.
Let me say that again. If you were not born with a golden spoon, get a wooden one and paint it gold. God has the best plan for your life. Jeremiah 1:5 says, before your mother met your father, God ordained you to be somebody great. All right? Don't forget that. The God, the omnipotent, the one who has all the power, has a plan for you. Young people, you have to discover what is God's plan for your life. And parents and counselors and teachers We have to help the young people discover the best plan for their life is God's plan for their life.
Wow, such powerful words. And I trust and hope that you will take those words, take this deep message and apply it and make a difference, because you can. And the truth is, you are in control. You've got choices. We all have choices, and there are consequences to our choices. And we know what is right, you know. We all know what is right, you know. We are aware of what is right, and we're also aware of the consequences. So why not do what is right and be good law-abiding citizens? Be children of God. It doesn't matter. Pastor said it, and many others say it. It doesn't matter if you're a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, a Baptist, a Catholic. That's fine. Just be the best one that you know and do what is right. And if we all take responsibility and do what is right, we'll have a happier, healthier home, by extension our community, and of course our country. And we together can make a difference.
That's right.
Despite all of the negative things, we could make it work, but we have to want to do it. You also said something that's extremely important, and that is you've got to make a choice, good or bad.
Yes.
You can't be any two. Oil and water cannot mix. Understand that you have to choose one, but always choose the one that will be right. Yeah?
You know, I have spoken about, I don't know how much more time we have.
Yeah,
it's
4
closing.
minutes. Go
4
right
minutes.
ahead.
I did this for graduations, and you must have seen it if you looked at the show on Saturday night. The issue of choices. Great choices, great memories. Poor choices, poor memories. And I have a compound rhyme I always do in every graduation. To make a choice, you have to inspect, find out what is there, and then you detect. And after you detect, you reflect, you think, you weigh the consequences. Is it good to smoke? Is it bad to smoke? Will it hurt me? Will it develop me? All right? That is the reflecting part, the thinking part, weighing the pros and cons. And then you have to select. That's the decision, the determination. And then after that, you can expect. So it's inspect, detect, reflect, select, and then you can inspect. Let me do the compound rhyme now. When you inspect, that's the examination. All right? When you detect, that's the information from the examination. When you reflect, that's the meditation on the information, all right, from the examination. When I select, that's the determination after the meditation on the information from the examination, and then you have great expectations. Parents, I encourage you this morning, go with God. Start the day with prayer. Call your children, you know, have a huddle with them, hug them, embrace them, tell them something positive before they leave for school, so no negative bandit and vampire could influence them at the cognitive level, at the brain level. And I want to wish all of you the best for your family, the best for the nation, and the best for Zelisa too. God bless you.
Thank you so much. I also want to take the opportunity to wish you a successful trip. I know it's work, it's hard work that you do. May God protect you and keep you safe.
Thank you so much.
We've got big plans when you return.
Sure. That's our program.
Great. Looking forward to that already. God bless you and thanks again. You know, and we'll be in touch.
Sure.
So we'll put things in place to start that series on radio as well, because I believe the information that you have to share with us, your knowledge, sharing of your knowledge is extremely important. We need people like your good self to remind us of who we are and how special we are. And you're correct. The choices that we make. If you know something is bad for you, why make the choice to do something that is bad? The money that you're wasting on vices could go towards collecting money that could get a little holiday for you and your family if you save it and use it wisely.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so thank you so much, Pastor. We look forward to you joining us when you return from your trip. Be safe, be happy, and be always protected by God.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This is where we've got to wrap things up for today. I remind you, we have a repeat of the program today at 3 o'clock. Tell your friends, tell your family members. Stay with us on U975 FM Multicultural Radio. Please be good law-abiding citizens. Respect the law of the land. Yeah? Be better parents. Be the best that you can. Keep smiling. Be positive. Know the best is yet to come. And here's reminding you that with God, all things are possible. I am Zelisa Budusing Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us.